What's up, everybody? Welcome to the POVincent podcast here in the River's Edge Online Radio Network. I'm your host, Vincent Didiano, giving you my point of view on movies. And joining me once again is my awesome co-host, the Film Fatale, Jess.
Hello.
All right, everybody. We took a week off to gather ourselves and also for our hosting website to refresh our data. But we're back again. If it's your first time listening, thank you for joining us.
Hello.
If you want to see what we did last, we recently covered the Tremors movie franchise. Mm-hmm. Everything from the first Tremors starring Kevin Bacon to the sixth film Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell starring Michael Gross. And then the seventh one will be coming out in a few months, assuming it doesn't get delayed.
We got a trailer finally.
Yeah. Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh, no.
I've been so busy this weekend.
No, it was a very busy week. Yeah, we have a trailer finally, so maybe we'll touch base on that.
We'll touch that next time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm still fucking recovering after the Batman trailer.
Yeah, I know. I think we all have whiplash from that.
I'm vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were upset that he said I'm vengeance and I'm like not I'm Batman. Like, did you not watch the remember the animated series?
Oh, absolutely.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Not enough 90s kids watching these trailers, I guess. I don't know.
But anyway, we'll cover some of the Batman films at some point. But anyway, yeah, if you are a fan of campy monster movies and you don't know anything about Tremors, go check out our Tremors franchise review. We reviewed each movie one after another, and we will get around to the seventh one when it comes out. But first, we need to get to a movie franchise where, honestly, I would like to see this character battle Batman or the Tremors. That'd be the dumbest, craziest good movie ever.
Yeah, it would.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the movie that made Arnold Schwarzenegger an international superstar, The Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I don't even know if we can get a plot synopsis on this one because it's such a famous film. But either which way, Jess, give us the trivia download.
So The Terminator was released in 1984. It was directed by James Cameron. It was also written by James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd, who produced the film. It does star Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. We also have Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. Is it Bean?
Bean. Mike Bean, like a jumping bean.
Okay. Yeah, I saw his last name and was a little unsure.
It can be a little confused because I knew how to say it, but I never actually.
Okay.
This is the first time I actually read the opening credits, and I was like, oh, that's how you spell it.
Okay, so Michael Bean is Kyle Reitz. We have Lance Henriksen as Detective Vukovic, and Paul Winfield as Traxler.
All right, and for the few of you who do not know what the story of the Terminator is, first off, where have you been?
I feel like even people who haven't seen this film, it's so iconic. You should know the basics. Even like going into this, I knew the basics. Yeah. You know, there are just some like fundamental things we all know, even if you've never seen this film. I promise.
But the basic plot is, for those of you, that's all three or four of you, is a cyborg is sent back in time to, present day, but it's the 80s.
Yeah, 1984.
Yeah, in the scenario of the movie, a cyborg is sent back in time to kill a woman named Sarah Connor because she has great importance to the future. Unfortunately for the cyborg, and fortunately for Sarah Connor, a soldier has also been sent back named Kyle Reese to protect her from this unstoppable killing machine.
Yeah, that's the plot.
Yes. All right. So, I don't know about you, but I've been watching Terminator movies since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. It's funny, but when I was a child, this killer robot was like one of my heroes. You know, I mean, Schwarzenegger at large.
It's interesting that you said that because having never seen the films, I wasn't sure if I was right on that the Terminator is the villain. Because so many people like hail this character as one of their favorite characters. If you haven't seen it, I feel like you might assume, oh yeah, that's the hero. No, it's not at all. Like Kyle Reese and Sarah are the heroes, but it's just such an iconic character. Yeah. Even though it's the villain, we all love the Terminator.
Yeah. That's always something special when the villain is like like Darth Vader in Star Wars. Darth Vader is the bad guy, but people love Darth Vader more than they love Luke. But yeah, no, this movie is like an 80s classic, a sci-fi classic, and for some, as been said before, I'm not claiming this, but I do agree with it. In a way, he's also, he could be, your favorite horror villain, because this movie, despite the fact that it's kind of like a sci-fi action movie, has a horror vibe to it.
Yeah, it does. It's shot kind of like a horror film in some scenes, definitely.
But anyway, yeah. So
a real slasher.
So the movie opens up with we see a glimpse of an dystopian, post-apocalypse.
2029.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to keep too much track of the dates because as we go through the franchise, those dates are going to switch around.
Oh, all right.
Because
never mind. It's just the future, guys.
Yeah, because always remember, kids, time travel. It's a mind fuck.
Yeah. So we're in the future.
Yeah, we're in the future. It's a post-apocalyptic future. Everything's toast and wasted, burnt, destroyed buildings, human skulls everywhere. There's these machines flying around. And we find out there was some kind of apocalypse, and now there's a battle going on between remaining humankind and these machines. And that's where we get started off, where we get where we go into in the context of the movie, present day, the 80s. And we see, and it's real funny because this humans battle, it's a war between humans and machines in the future, the robots, which are just called the machines. I like the opening shot where it's we see these big, metal mechanical arms, from where the camera shots, we're looking up at these big metal mechanical arms that are coming down. And as the camera pans back a little bit to give us more, it's a trash truck. So it's like a garbage truck, and it's just the forks that pick up the dumpster. And it's okay, that's a nice little, that's a nice little opening. Then we get some flashing lights, a little bit of lightning, some power going out, and then we have naked Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Very naked
Schwarzenegger. He appears out of nowhere, blank, motionless face, just looking around. And then he's at the I always forget the name of it, that famous observatory out in LA where
I can't remember, but
I want to say the Griffiths, but I'm probably wrong.
But he's out and there's a group of 3 punk teenagers,
80s movies punks.
Yeah. Who are there, and they're just get a load of this guy. What the fuck? He's naked. Haha.
Yeah. One of them being Bill Paxton.
Yes, one of them is Bill Paxton. So they comment, what the heck? And I want to point out one thing. So James Cameron, when writing this, he wanted to give Arnold Schwarzenegger less lines than he had in Conan, which I think he only had 24. In Conan?
Yeah, when you think about it, Conan's not a big talker.
No.
He's a doer.
He does have less in this film. He only speaks 14 lines in this entire movie. So we do get we get his first line, which is give me your clothes.
Yeah.
And the dude's what the fuck? No, I'm not giving you my clothes. So obviously the Terminator takes the clothes.
Yeah.
He's taking them.
I mean, the guys try to they all have switchblades.
Yeah, they all have switchblades.
They're all the same ones. So I guess they got a
maybe they're a little punk gang.
Punk gang. Yeah. Maybe they bought them in bulk. He just takes them out. One does get a stab on him, and then he just fist right through the one guy.
It doesn't faze him. Whatever.
Bloody covered arm, and takes the clothes. And then we switch to Kyle Reese, who
there's more lightning, more smoke,
materializes in an alleyway, and unlike Arnold, he's gasping for air, he's in pain, he's cold or whatever.
However, he was sent to the past was not pleasant.
No. Yeah. And then he takes the pants off a homeless guy, and then the cops are after him.
Yeah.
So things went pretty smoothly for Arnold.
I really enjoy that the guy's just he took my pants.
I think he was still wearing pants too. He wasn't bottomless.
I'm not sure why he needed to. I
guess
disguise
it was cold.
Himself. Maybe it was cold.
I don't know.
But he takes a homeless man's
Yeah,
pants.
but he's running from the cops.
Good first impression.
Yeah, he's running from the cops. He ducks into a department store, steals some shoes. And here's the funny thing. The shoes he puts on, they're Nikes, and I noticed through the movie there's at least 2 times where the camera is on the fucking shoes.
And they change?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just I think it's just Nike promotion.
Product placement.
Product placement.
Nike
Yeah,
helped them pay for something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There's at least two clear shots in the movie of the Nike
I did
shoe.
enjoy that scene where he's like hiding from the cops, running across this, just trying on different pairs of shoes to see if they fit.
Yeah.
Like, it was clever.
Yeah, only Nike could make him fast enough to outrun the cops.
Yep.
But anyway, so yeah, we get him. He eventually gets away from the cops. He steals a shotgun out of the one cop's car, which will be, I'm going to point this out now in case I forget later when we do Terminator 2, but there's a theme throughout the Terminator movies I've noticed where like the main action hero, the one protecting the person, usually first time we see them in combat, they usually have a shotgun.
Okay.
Of some kind. So
shotguns are a recurring thing.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yes.
Count the shotguns.
Exactly. One shotgun, two shot. I don't know why I'm doing the count. It just felt.
I feel like he'd enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so then we finally meet Sarah Connor, who's driving into work on her moped. She works at a diner of some kind, a restaurant, as a waitress. And life's tough. She can't get the right orders to the table. And some brat kid drops a scoop of ice cream.
A whole scoop of, first of all, what child in their right mind is going to waste a perfectly good scoop of ice cream?
Doesn't make sense to me. I think he's the fucking machine.
Like, what the fuck?
What do I do with this dairy confection?
I don't understand. Like, eat it. Anyway.
Yeah. Did you notice the line of like the customer who she was given, who she couldn't figure out what his order was, and he whispered, it's like under his breath he says something that's like, I was like, maybe I should tip the kid instead.
Yeah, maybe
the
kid deserves the tip.
Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Kid should have put the ice cream in your pocket, sir. Like,
if only he knew who he was disrespecting.
Right.
But anyway, so time goes on, we switch back to the Terminator, who's gathering. He's fully clothed out.
He's looking through the phone book?
He's looking through the phone book.
Yeah.
And he rips out the page with all the Sarah Connors on it.
All of them.
Because apparently he doesn't know what the Sarah Connor he's after looks like. And he also steals a car. And then he steals guns by literally going into a gun shop, picking out 4 guns, which was a handgun with a laser sight on it.
There's an Uzi.
Yes, some kind of machine gun, possibly an Uzi. An auto-repeating shotgun, and I believe it was and he says Italian, so it probably means it's a Benelli. And the only reason why I know that because I'm Italian, so I pick up on Italian things. But yeah, no, he gets a nice little arsenal for himself, and then for some reason, the gun shop. Like, I don't know how things work in a gun shop because I don't own a gun. I currently have no plans to buy a gun. But like the ammo's just right there on the countertop, and when he turns around to grab like another gun or more ammo, the Terminator just grabs a shell
and starts putting it in the gun,
and he blows the guy away. Once again, I don't know how it works in a gun shop, but I would assume there are procedures like to make sure someone doesn't try to just take the gun they just bought and blow you the fuck away. But it's a minor complaint.
Well, I think the old man even says like, "Hey, you can't do that."
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean. Wouldn't there be just?
I mean, the Terminator can do whatever he wants, but
yes, except cry.
No.
Which we'll get into the next one. He can do everything but cry. But anyway, so yeah, that goes on, and then we see the Terminator slowly like go through the phone book, the listing of the other Sarah Connors, and he takes out one Sarah Connor, which makes it on the news, like, and then our Sarah Connor sees it.
Yeah, one of her coworkers, like, you're gonna find this hilarious, like, someone with your name is dead. Haha.
Yeah,
real like, funny.
I know she's not a nice character.
No,
that's not the last time we see her, and thank God, because like that would have been horrible if she was like the best friend that works there with her, and we have to continue. We have to see more of her.
Well, we do see the best friend.
We do see the best friend, but it's
Sarah
not her.
Home.
It's not her. It's a different woman.
Sarah goes home, and her friend are getting ready to go out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, they check the phone messages, and Sarah's date cancels.
Yeah.
So Sarah goes out on her own.
Yeah. And I do like these scenes because they're not long, they're pretty short, but they give us a nice idea of who Sarah is, what kind of person she is.
They build her character. You know. We get Ginger Ginger's her best friend. Matt is Ginger's boyfriend.
And he's very horny.
He's so horny. Calls thinking that it's Ginger on the phone, and it's just like, I'm going to unbutton your blouse, and I'm going to do all of these things to you.
I'm going to take off your panties with my teeth.
And, like, she giggles, and he's like, oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I just
And then
flossed.
she hands the phone to Ginger, and he just repeats himself, like, I'm going to take off your blouse. I mean, it's character development. But she goes off on her little moped, and I think she said she's going to go to a movie. I can't remember actually where she goes, but by this point, I think she's at a bar when
she's like in a bar restaurant having a whole pizza to herself, which I can respect.
Yeah, I can also respect that. But by this time, the Terminator has killed another Sarah Connor. So now there's 2 dead Sarah Connors. The names obviously connect the murders. So the we have a scene in the police department where the police decide like they're gonna have to say something to the public. So Sarah finds out like, yeah, people with her name are being murdered. Which, like, imagine that. That's terrifying. That's not a good... If you weren't eating a whole pizza to yourself before, you sure as hell are now. Yeah.
And back then, they weren't doing the whole ranch cup where you could dip your crust in yet. That wasn't even a thing. She could have used that back then.
Yeah, she
could have needed that. But I like the banter between Officer Traxler and is it Vukovic? I always get it wrong. Vukovic. Yeah. I like it because Traxler's just very dismissive of Vukovic. Vukovic will just bring up irrelevant, frivolous shit, and Traxler were just like, just get me a cigarette or something. Like,
just shut up.
He blows them off all the time in front of people.
Fuck off.
It was like, I don't know what the. I felt like maybe they would have been better if they got like a younger actor instead. Like, no disrespect to Lance Henriksen, he's been in a bunch of movies, but like a younger, more inexperienced cop who doesn't get it. Like, dude, just fucking be professional. I think that would have been a little bit better. But anyway. So Sarah sees it. She sees that the second Sarah Connor has been killed on television. She gets the phone at the restaurant isn't working, so she leaves. Which I don't know why there's probably a phone behind the bar, but
yeah, like would they not let her use the phone? I mean,
I don't know. Whatever. I was thinking about that watching because this is the first time like I've watched the movie in a review sense, which is probably something I'm going to repeat many times on the show. First time I've watched this movie as before.
Yeah, because it's a different experience watching a movie when you're trying to critique it than just watching a movie. But so then she leaves the bar and she takes note, like she's trying to find a place with a phone and she like feels like someone's following her and Kyle is following her.
Kyle's following her, yeah.
So obviously she's freaking out. Like she's not cool with this. So she goes into like a nightclub to use their phone. And this is a really funny scene to me because like she goes to this nightclub and she's like, I need to use the phone. And the lady's like, the phone's in the back. You have to pay like $4.50 to come in and use the phone, though. Like, what? At that point, like, if I think that some deranged dude is after me, I'm not paying money. I'm telling you, no, lady, you don't get it. I think some crazy fucker's after me. Let me use your goddamn phone. Like, hey, like, but no, she like forks up $5. Like,
keep the change, bitch.
Yeah, just keep the change. I need the phone.
So she gets a hold of cops, and Traxler's like, Sarah, just stay calm. Stay there at the club. You're in a public place. Nobody will come at you. Just don't go into the bathroom or don't go off. Just stay where the most people are in this club called the Tech Noir.
Yes.
The Tech Noir Club, which is like a...
I like the name. I did. She does try to call Ginger and Matt. They're busy.
Yeah.
They're too busy.
They're too busy.
They're busy.
Busy getting busy. But yeah, so, and we see Kyle, like, not follow her into the bar. He, like, keeps walking, but he's, like, keeping an eye on her.
Yeah, he's there.
And she's sitting there, and then we see the Terminator enter the bar because
this is after he stops at her house, right?
He stops at her house, and he kills Ginger and her boyfriend.
She's just listening to her Walkman. Like,
and just brutalizes the boyfriend, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's fucked up by the time he's dead. But, yes, what you were going to say.
Yeah.
They're having sex, and she still has her headphones on.
Yeah, she still has her headphones on.
Is her boyfriend that boring? Lady, just get a vibrator at that point. If you don't even want to hear him, if you want to be,
it was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Terminator shows up at the club, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. Yeah, he walks right up to her, points the gun at her with the laser sight. It's right on her forehead, and then boom, Kyle Reese comes out of nowhere with his shotgun, starts blasting at the Terminator. Blast, 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 run, shot, blast, run, blast,
great
run.
Action scene between the two, though. I really enjoy this shoot off at the club.
Yeah, the Terminator goes through a window, which is repeated in the next film. We'll get to that then.
Another common
Arnold
theme.
just going through windows. I don't know what it is.
He enjoys it. That's all.
Yeah, so they start running. They take a car, which I think is the car that Kyle, we see him a little earlier in the film take.
Yeah. He stole a car earlier, so they're in the parking lot. Sarah's just like, "What the fuck?"
Like, come with me if you want to live. Famous
Pretty
line
much.
from the movie. And they're hightailing the car. The car's in reverse. They're going down the alleyway, but Arnold starts running and leaps onto the hood and smashes right through the front window, trying to grab Sarah.
At one point, he does. He has her in his grasp.
Yeah,
by her shirt.
He's got a shirt.
Yeah.
But then Kyle shoots like a gas tank or something that blows the Terminator off. It burns off his freaking eyebrows.
Yeah, it burns off his eyebrows.
It's weird.
Some of the I do want to say, like, some of the effects, once you start realizing like his skin comes off and stuff, some of the effects when he is injured, especially around the face area, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm assuming they had to make like a mask based on his own face, like he had to sit in plaster for that. It's early 80s, so I really enjoyed, like, at times it's very cheesy, but I almost really like that it's cheesy because I like that it looks fake.
Yeah,
because he's not human. So I like that a lot of the effects for like his face area, they don't look human at times. I just really enjoyed that, especially given that in the early 80s, some special effects were a lot worse. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But I liked that.
Yeah, no, the special effects, some of the special effects have aged poorly since then, but at the time, this was a really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like over the course of the film, the more injuries the Terminator takes, the less the human facade just fades away.
It does become cheesier at times, which I'll get into.
A little cheesier. But yeah, no, I mean, famously, the Terminator with like a quarter to half his face blown off.
With the eye missing. It's good.
Yeah, and do make for some gruesome scenes where he has to cut away, like he has his arms malfunction at one point because something comes loose.
I honestly really disliked that scene just because
it was so gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally cuts open his arm with like an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, I was like, that's not pleasant.
Yeah, with some pliers, and you see like the gears moving inside, which is part of the reason why it's got that kind of horror movie thing, because the Terminator, it's a robot underneath.
It's body horror.
Yeah, it's body horror, but like its skin is real living skin. It's got blood. It's grown in a laboratory, which is what Kyle explains later after they get away from the Terminator, and Sarah wants some fucking answers.
Of course.
When
I feel like anyone in this situation would be like, I need to know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Please.
But yeah, no, he tells her like there's a future, like in a few years, like a defense computer named Skynet built by the military, literally like less than a second after it's activated, decides that humanity is a problem and launches all the nukes around the world, taking out most of humanity, and the remaining human survivors are rounded up into camps. Until a brave warrior emerges and teaches humanity how to fight back, and then thus begins the war between humankind and the machines, and the
resistance.
Yes, the resistance, and the person leading it, the savior of humanity, is John Connor,
Sarah's son in the future.
Yes, she's not even pregnant yet or anything. It's a son that.
But this is her son.
Yeah, and that's why Sarah has to live, because the Terminator takes out Sarah, takes out John by default, and then. Well,
there's no resistance, and the humans are prisoners.
Exactly, yeah. So that's what Kyle's doing here. He actually personally knew John Connor. He was one of his like main soldiers. So it's up to them. And Sarah just found out that she's basically the sci-fi Virgin Mary almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she's like the sci-fi mother of the Christ figure in the series.
Yeah. So. And one thing I want to bring up, let's talk about Kyle for a minute.
Okay.
Played by Michael Biehn, who puts in a really good performance.
Yeah, it is.
You seriously believe that this guy is a man that since birth has just grown up in a desolate, post-apocalyptic wasteland, has been fighting giant monstrous machines ever since he was a kid. Yeah, he is a soldier. He doesn't, like, when he's back in time, there's moments where he's looking at stuff.
He doesn't know anything other than being a soldier and other than trying to protect humans from machines.
Yeah, they have a few fish out of water moments, but not like really in a goofy way, but it's more like he's like confused, or he's like there's a moment later in the film where they're stopping at a hotel and they're getting a room, and like he like steals money from somebody, and he's like, is this enough money? And she's like, yeah, that's enough. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Like there's points in the movie where like Sarah's like she needs a distraction. She's like just talk about something. He's like, what? Like that doesn't make sense to him because everyone's like, no
What do
one
we talk about?
No one really talks a lot in the future. It's like, did you die? No, great, okay, cool. Like that's
You survived. How about your brother? He survived. Oh, that's great.
No.
That's the.
What about your uncle?
conversation.
Oh, he's roasting by the front door. Okay,
Okay.
sucks.
Oh,
That
do
sucks,
we
man.
need to feed the dogs? Okay,
Yeah.
we should feed the dogs.
Not gonna need that gun anymore, I
Yeah.
guess.
And he does tell her about like the dogs that they use to track the Terminators.
Yeah,
or warn them that the Terminators are
because the
coming in the future.
The Terminators are the latest model of machines. They're the
Yes.
infiltration units. They look human, so they can infiltrate. And there's a point in the movie where there's a couple times in the movie where Kyle has nightmares about his life in the future, almost dying. One of them is where a non-Arnold looking Terminator, which is something they never really do again in the franchise, where they never have another Terminator that doesn't look like Arnold.
They all now must look like Arnold.
Yeah, which you think that would be something that they would have different, like if they have different, like I know the Arnold one is the latest model of Terminator, he's like the Cyberdyne's Model 101
he's like,
T800.
Yeah.
But they never, despite the fact that this movie shows that, yes, there were other Terminators that were, didn't look like Arnold. We never do it again. And I get it because the Terminator is it's iconic, and Arnold's face is part of the iconography.
Yeah, and very much part of the franchise, especially after this one.
Yeah. But yeah, no, real props to Michael Biehn really doing a good job. Because like you believe it. You believe this is some guy that's like, he's foreign to this, not to this world, but this kind of like reality. Like he fully tells the cops, like later they get caught by the cops later, and he just fully tells them like the whole story, because he's like he doesn't get it, like because he's never known a human that wasn't on his side. So this is like weird to him. Like, why don't you guys believe me?
Like, we have to prevent this from happening.
You think John?
The cops think he's nuts. They just think he's bonkers.
John should have told him before he went back. Like, listen, when you go back, just to let you know, nobody's gonna believe a damn thing you say.
No one has any idea what you're talking about. Skynet isn't a thing yet. Yeah. So hold on.
But anyway, we learned a few other things, like why did the Terminator need the phone book? Kyle explains it's like most records were destroyed after the nuclear apocalypse, so nobody outside of John Connor knew what his mom looked like, so the machines don't know what she looks like. But Kyle knew because at one point in the future, John gave him a picture of his mom that he had. A sad-looking picture, which he states that one. We'll get to that scene later. But anyway, so eventually they get caught by the cops. They're at the police station. A psychologist examines Kyle and says, this guy's a loon.
He's a loony.
He's totally crazy.
I'm gonna sell $1 million book on this guy.
Yeah.
Like this, I could make my whole career just on this crazy motherfucker.
Yeah. Which this guy will be a recurring character in Dr. Silberman.
Yeah,
played by Earl Bone.
Okay.
He shows up in. He shows up in the next one and briefly in the third one.
Okay.
He's a recurring character. I don't think he showed up in anything after the third one, which I don't blame him.
Okay.
Unless he's passed away, which he may. I don't think I've. Hold on, I'm going to check right now. So no, he's still alive. Okay, good for him.
So he's just not involved in it.
Yeah. Good for him. You're still alive. Anyway, 79 years old. Goddamn.
Wow.
But anyway. Yeah, and then the Traxler and Vukovich try to explain to Sarah, because she's like, well, how did the Terminator guy do everything he did? Like, he got shot so many times, and Traxler shows him, like, body armor used by, like, the SWAT guys, and it's, like, this real thick shit. He's probably wearing that. And she's like, well, then how did he smash through the window? And Vukovich is like, he's probably on PCP. He probably didn't feel, probably broke every bone in his hand.
He just can't feel it.
Yeah, he does. He wouldn't feel anything for hours. I think he put it. So
they just rationalize all of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, man. Some of that can't be rationalized, no matter who's telling you what. Like, she knows.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only way that scene would have been necessary to like explain everything, because it doesn't matter, because the Terminator shows up 10 minutes later and just decimates the entire police department.
Oh yeah.
But I think that would have worked better if they did the movie in a way where it's like we're questioning. Oh wait, maybe Kyle is crazy, and there's just these psycho people after Sarah, and there's a whole other reason.
Yeah, this scene might have gone a little better.
If we, the audience, didn't know the truth, maybe the scene could have been that moment of, wait, maybe he's not a robot. That would have been like, are they going to try to pull? They're pulling a twist on us, but no, he's really a robot.
Is this guy actually crazy? Yeah. No, it's a robot.
Yeah, but anyway, so they have Kyle locked up in an interrogation room, and then Arnold shows up to the front door right as Dr. Silverman's leaving. Like Dr. Silverman,
he's leaving.
He's just got out there right time. He walks in, he's like, "Hello, I'm here to see Sarah Connor," and he's like, "She's in lockup. You'll have to wait." And then and then the famous line. He looks at the door into the next room for the police department. He looks back at the officer at the front desk. And he's like, "I'll be back." The famous line. The famous line.
It's so fun.
It's good. And then he leaves. And then he comes back and he just rams his car through the front door and destroys the fucking front desk and the cop gets smushed. And then he just obliterates every officer in the building.
Yep.
To
get to Sarah.
Yeah, to get to Sarah. Thankfully, Kyle escapes. He gets his cuffs off. He grabs Sarah and they get the fuck out of there. But yeah, no, it's just a scene to just show you if you question how powerful the Terminator is, he takes out and he takes. I think Traxler says, if I remember correctly, there's 30 cops in this building. So
yeah, they do. Like there is like an establishment of how many people the Terminator has to get through, which, like, you know.
Yeah, and they're blasting him with everything they got: handguns,
chance.
shotguns,
They don't stand
rifles.
A chance against the Terminator.
They come at him with everything. So it just goes to show you, like, just how almost indestructible this thing is. Like, it's like they come out with all kinds of guns and bullets and rounds and magazines and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just further it's like once again, it's like he's a horror movie villain, like a Jason Voorhees or something.
Yeah.
You just keep fucking coming at him.
It is. Some of these action scenes are very slasher-esque.
Yeah.
Gore, high kill factor. So yeah, it's definitely comparable to a horror film at times. So we have Kyle and Sarah who run off and they're in hiding. Like, obviously, Kyle has to hide Sarah to the best of his ability because the Terminator's going to be hot on their tail.
Yeah.
Where do they hide the first time? It's like under some...
Under like a bridge or something.
Yeah, it's like under
overpass.
a bridge. It's in a bunch of concrete.
Yeah. And Kyle's been shot.
Yes.
It's a through and through. So the bullet went right out. And he's like, "Oh, it's nothing." And she's just like, "What are you talking about?" She grabs this little first aid kit that they have and she
bandages him. And
yeah. And it's once again, like, that's once again, it shows more about like Sarah, instant reaction. I have to help you. You're injured. Kyle's reaction is like, there's nothing. And you believe him that it's nothing.
He's probably been shot before.
Well, because we've seen him shirtless a few times in the movie. The first time he pops
does have a bunch of scars.
Scars all over. He's even got some on his face. He's got like one here on his lip, which Sarah has like a little cut later in the movie right there in the same spot. But yeah. And he's telling them about like the future, and like the dogs, and we have and then he has the dream where he dreams about the Terminator that comes in and like kills everybody.
Like the flashback dream of
and something I want to talk about now that something that I think that I feel like the 80s, I don't know why, that the 80s just got right, is that we talk about a lot of movies that have like a dark, gritty, and gloomy kind of, lots of movies. But 80s was dark and grimy and dirty. There was just something that aesthetically, I just think this died out after the 80s.
It's the use of color. Just everything combines for this. Especially the shots of this dystopian future. Yeah. They're so grimy. I like the word grimy compared to gritty. Right. I think there's a distinct difference between grime and grit.
That's why I was saying it, because it's not the same.
It's more believable.
Yeah. And I think what it also helps it is just technology. It's like it's not me dissing it. It's just like I think the picture quality of films back then helped make it look like it was dirty and grim, because everything is such high definition now.
Now everything's so crisp and clean.
Yeah, that even the dirt looks clean. Have you watched a football game in high definition? I can see every blade of fucking grass.
I think that especially given that these are like dream sequences or memory sequences, there's something to the picture that gives it that quality that dream sequences now are just so much cleaner. That's not a way to establish.
Yeah, it's really hard sometimes to make that like this is post-apocalyptic. Everything is burning and scorched and damaged, and everyone's sick, and it just doesn't feel. And I think it's because there was a lot of like dystopian post-apocalyptic stuff going on in the 80s. It was very popular, so people had.
Yeah, it was a very popular theme.
You had a lot of people you can compare and contrast, like, oh, they did this in this movie. Okay, we'll do this too, but we'll add this, and we'll do so. and we've had plenty of movies like that since, but the 80s was just like the era of
it's
the
like prime
post-apocalyptic.
time.
Yeah. Dystopian / post-apocalyptic. But anyway, I just really wanted to point that out because I was watching this movie. I was like, God, like even when he's in the present day, like running down the alleyway or like, around stuff, like fucking everything's dirty. I love it. Like it just adds to the film.
It gives the film a really good feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, anyway, Sarah and Kyle, they hitch a ride and they end up at the motel where he's like, "Is this enough money?"
Motel.
Yeah, and there's a dog there, and Kyle goes right up to the dog and gives it a pet and sniff. He lets it sniff him first. Yeah. He's still in that soldier mindset of like, I'm a human, not a machine. You can sniff me, right? Or it could just be like he's going to let the dog. Like, I let a dog sniff me first before I pet it. But for Kyle, it's like, here, you can check me out, even though
It's a little different. Yeah. It's a little different behavior.
Yeah. So go ahead.
We have a lot more established at the hotel as well. This is when we find out about the photo. Yeah. That John Connor.
John Connor on Mars.
Like John Carter. We find out about the photo that Kyle's been given. It's how John remembers his mother. It's how Kyle knows who he's looking for, and is established that Kyle is like in love with Sarah because of this photo.
And she makes the first move. She
does make the first move.
Do you have a soldier lady in the future?
Yeah, and it's this like real cheesy like 80s action romance scene because it's the 80s. It's an action film. We gotta have the romance.
Yeah. It's a little cheesy, but you know what? I'm okay with it because these two fucking people have been through so much.
Oh, for sure.
In a day and a half.
I feel like if you almost die together that many times in 48 hours, you're definitely gonna bone, and that's exactly what happens, folks. So we have this. Normally there's like gratuitous scenes like this in some action films because like whatever. I do appreciate that this one at least like plays into the plot. Yeah. Cool beans. So we have this scene and then we get back into the action pretty quickly.
Yeah. While they're there after the passionate lovemaking, they make some homemade pipe bombs.
Yes.
Which I like. Like before the sex scene, there's a scene where like Kyle goes out. He's like, "I'm gonna go grab supplies." He comes back and he's got all this bags full of stuff. And Sarah's like, "Oh, what are we making for dinner?" Like she looks all done. Wait a minute.
Food?
And he's like,
bombs.
Yeah. There's like a double there. He's like plastique, and she's like, "Oh, plastique. Like what's that? That sounds good." And he's like, "Oh, it's nitroglycerin based. I learned it when I was a kid." And it's like, "Oh, it's a bomb. Oh, it's a bomb." It's like she thinks she's gonna get some like fancy future meal or some shit. Like
gets her hopes up.
Would have been funny if he really was making a meal and it was just the nastiest, slopping looking shit. It's like we eat this all the time in the future.
Nuclear war. Like there's nothing growing. What did you think we were gonna fucking eat? Jeez.
For breakfast, we would have chunks of tire.
We would just have slop. Slop for breakfast, slop for dinner, and you didn't get lunch. You just ate twice a day. Yeah. That's what the future's like.
Anyway, so they make some of the pipe bombs, and then they hear the dog out front barking. They're like, "Oh shit, the Terminator's here."
Yeah.
So they sneak out the apartment. They get in they're like in a truck, a flatbed truck. They hightail the Terminator gets on a motorcycle, chase them, and a famous car chase scene. Which car chase scenes are like another scene that is a reoccurring theme in the Terminator films.
Yeah,
good ones, by the way.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. So they're running. The Terminator's on the motorcycle, firing like it's machine gun, and Kyle's just chucking them pipe bombs out the window, trying to take Terminator out. Terminator gets a shot off on Kyle. He's like, "Ah, shit." And then, like, while Sarah's trying to, like, pull him back in the car because he's falling out of pain, like, they fucking flip the truck, and, the Terminator, like, crashes too, and there's, like, a like a 16-wheeler that runs over the Terminator. He gets up, and that's when, like, half his face is now gone at this point. He takes over the truck, and he gets in the truck, and like, the truck driver's buddy's in there. He's like, "Oh, finally, we can get out of here." And he looks at the, Arnold Schwarzenegger with the half the face and look at missing. He's like,
"What the what?"
And like another famous line that's a recurring line is like, "Get out."
He's killed so many people at that point. Like, why not kill that guy? Just get out. Like, just leave.
Maybe he's starting to learn the value of human life.
Maybe, just a little bit. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm trying to kill this lady. Yeah. You're just, you don't need to die.
You're going to be
just
dead.
Get out.
You're going to be dead in 5 years anyway when you get nuked.
Like, I don't need to do it. Just get out.
Enjoy the fires of hell, asshole.
I did find that funny. Like, you're not gonna just shoot this guy too. Like, but it is. It's a fame. You know, it's the famous line.
Yeah, a little famous. Yeah, fine. That gets repeated in the next movie. And but anyway, so now like Sarah and Kyle Reese are on foot trying to run away from the Terminator, the 16-wheeler, which is a little unbelievable that he can't catch it. Like, she's always just like at least 10 feet ahead of him.
Yeah.
But
somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
But Kyle's shot. He's having trouble standing up, and he's like, Sarah, run! And he like separates from her. So for half a second, it's like he's like, you run this way, I'll run this way. It would have been hilarious. He was like, oh, good, he'll follow her and not me. I can get the fuck out. That would have been fucking hilarious. Like,
I'm leaving. Fuck it.
Kyle's like, fuck the future.
I give up. Fuck it.
I got 5 years before the nukes drop. I'm just going to fuck prostitutes and do blow.
Yeah.
I'm going to live it up in the 80s,
fuck
baby. But no, he takes the final pipe bomb and throws it onto like the 16-wheeler, which is carrying like a gasoline or something like that. Some flammable liquid. But anyway, it goes off, the 16-wheeler explodes, it like flops over, and you see the Terminator crawl out covered in flames, and he's just like burning in the fire. And they're like, oh, he's dead. Kyle.
We did it.
Yeah, Kyle
he
and
stops
Sarah,
moving.
Yeah, Kyle and Sarah have a embrace as they've just been through
lovely moment.
Entire hell. And then from the burning rubble comes the Terminator with all of his skin burned off.
No skin. I will say this. What did I compare this to in my head? So I really like Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh my God, where's this going?
There's that scene where he's watching the dinosaur movie, and it's like very evident that it is like stop motion. Yeah. I don't know if the Terminator was meant to look like stop motion, but in my brain, like that's kind of how he looked emerging from the flames. Just like this stop motion figure of the Terminator. Well, I enjoy it. Like, yeah. It was good. Well, I really enjoyed the reveal.
This is one of those things that has not aged well. Because
no, it didn't, but I still love it. Yeah, I love it so much.
Now that Arnold's out, whenever you see the Terminator walking around, now he has a limp. He took some damage.
Mm-hmm, he did. He has some leg damage.
But whenever you see him walking, for the most part, like full body, it's a stop motion puppet.
Yeah.
Which back then probably looked pretty good. Now, not so much. No. Like you can tell it's a stop motion. He's in front of a which probably would have been a blue screen back then.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah. But other shots, like close-up shots, are of like the animatronic robot, you know, looking around.
Yeah, they definitely had both. They definitely had both.
So, which is good because, like, it, you know, I mean, now it's like very obvious once again stop motion. But back then, as long as you kept switching back and forth enough times between the stop motion and the animatronic, you could fool people.
No, I really do appreciate the stop motion, though. It was very.
I know.
I was like, oh, okay.
I don't want to like diss on the Terminator, but yeah, it looks. Yeah, I was like, because stop motion, like people forget stop motion. You know, like CGI really didn't start hitting till.
I have so much respect for stop motion artists.
Oh yeah,
though. like
I used to watch all the old Sinbad movies when I was a kid. Yeah. It would be on TNT or something.
Yeah, no, but I just loved it. It's one of my favorite scenes when he's just no skin.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh fuck, he's not dead. Yeah. Now we gotta kill him.
Yeah, and that's the other half to the iconic coin that is the Terminator. You've got Arnold, in his face, and then you've got the metal skull face thing, like you know.
Yeah, that's very iconic. We all know what it looks like with no skin.
Yeah. So Kyle and Sarah run into some kind of machine factory
warehouse. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like robotic arms. It's like some kind of assembly line building something.
Yeah.
We don't know what. We find out in the second movie. It's explained. What that place was and how important it was.
Okay.
But, so minus. But anyway, so they're running through it, and Kyle turns on all the automation because apparently all the machinery will fuck with Terminator's like sensors, and he'll have trouble tracking them.
Okay.
They're running and running. Kyle once again, he's like losing it because he's been shot.
He's been shot. He's injured. It's not good.
So they're running around. The Terminator's like. There's this one moment where the Terminator stops and he's like looking around at all like the little machines and robot arms of the assembly line working around. It's kind of like this one little moment where it's like, is he just looking? Is he looking at all these like old machines? He's like, Grandpa, like that'd be fucking great.
Bubby, is that you? Oh my God, Grandpapa, it's me.
Oh my God, great.
You can't speak. This is before you had voice modulars. Yeah.
Oh my God, great Uncle Assembly Line.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Terminator's looking for him, and eventually he catches up. He finds him, and then like they're moving slow at this time because they're both beat up. And Kyle just has like he grabbed this like metal bar, like or something, a pipe, and he just starts whacking the Terminator. He's like, Sarah, run! And she like and she's like, no, and she's like, fucking run! Like, get the fuck away from me! And he's like, I love it because like he's bashing the Terminator, and the head just goes pow to one side. And he bashes him in, pow, 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 pow. Head
it is funny.
Back and forth. Like, the Terminator, and then finally he just like, zip, and he like, and then Kyle goes for another swing, and he just grabs it and backhands Kyle like a bitch, which. Because Kyle's not a bitch, but a Terminator just
the Terminator, any human is a bitch.
Yeah, he just uses his pan, pow. But then, like, he knocks Kyle out of the way, and then the Terminator's now going for Sarah, who's trying to get away. And Kyle takes, like, the last pipe bomb, lights it, and, like, shoves it up into the Terminator's, like, metal rib cage. And then Kyle just, like, kind of, like, rolls down these metal steps, and it's like, oh, that's gotta fucking hurt. The pipe bomb goes off, and boom! And Sarah's like, oh, what the fuck? And then she like tries to get up, and there's like a piece of shrapnel in her leg.
Yeah, and she has to rip it out.
Yeah. And
another like not pleasant scene.
Yeah. And credit to Linda Hamilton, who plays Sarah Connor. Like we were giving Michael Biehn props earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But
totally
she's good.
Believable.
Yeah. Young woman, normal life, And then she has this greatness not thrust upon her, shoved down her fucking throat.
Yeah, and honestly, she like rises to the occasion.
Yeah.
It's definitely a character arc, a development with her that I'm sure we get back to in future movies. How she started as a normal, your typical girl, and now she's pulling shrapnel out of her leg like 48 hours after we saw her as a waitress.
Yeah. But anyway, so she like goes over to Kyle, and Kyle unfortunately did not survive the blast.
No.
He's
he
dead.
Sacrificed himself. And the Terminator is dead.
Yeah.
We think.
She's crying, and all of a sudden you see like it move in the background. It's
and
like
I also very much appreciate this. Like his legs are completely blown off. All it's just the torso crawling.
Yeah, torso, like half of the left arm, the whole right arm in his head. So he's like literally like it because Kyle said it earlier in the movie, like he won't stop. He has no remorse.
Yeah,
he will always come for you
until his objective is met.
Yeah.
His objective, because he's like a cybernetic hitman.
Yeah.
His objective is to kill Sarah Connor, so he won't stop until she's dead.
Yeah.
So she has to figure out what the fuck she's gonna do now.
Yeah. She's getting away. She's crawling. She literally like jumps onto a conveyor belt and tries, but the Terminator's right behind her. And then finally, like she gets through some kind of tiny space.
Yeah.
Drops it. Oh, yeah, you go for it.
She gets through a space and has enough time to drop the conveyor belt down onto the Terminator, and she just like smashes it.
Yeah. Well, it's like some kind of like pneumatic like press, like a junking device.
Yeah.
Right?
And like he's grabbing at her. He can't really fit under it. And she reaches and she like smacks the button.
Yeah, and he gets
just
smashed.
In time.
Yeah, some kind of industrial strength, like smasher that just. Oh,
it's a can crusher.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just.
But anyway, so police and cops show up. Sarah gets pulled into an ambulance, and then we jump ahead to like several months later. Sarah's in a Jeep. She's got a dog. She's got a gun. She's driving through the desert, and she's making recordings for John to listen to in the future.
And she's making tapes, and it's revealed that she is pregnant.
Yes.
Meaning that Kyle is John's father.
Yes.
I have one issue with this ending. Like I do.
Okay.
Not that Kyle is the father. That's not my issue. Like I said, that I dig it. That makes sense. Cool beans.
All right. I'm listening.
When she's making these recordings for John, she says, like, I don't know if I'm going to tell you about your father. I don't know if I want you treating him any differently. And then she's like, I'm probably going to tell you. And so like we assume, how does that not fuck up the timeline? I don't understand. Like
Well, here's the thing. It's indicated that, well, let's see, if she doesn't tell him, he volunteered to go back in time to save Sarah, but it's with John's decision as to who went back in time. If he doesn't know, then he could
send someone else.
He could send somebody else. Somebody goes back, and it's just like,
so it's like
I'm Ted.
You basically are just telling your kid, it's up to you to make mommy and daddy fall in love. Just so you know. Like, it's up to you to make yourself exist.
Like the weirdest like family rom-com
What fucking
of all
existential
time.
questions am I going to have I'm gonna have a lot, I think, going into this.
Which creates this weird time loop where it's like, so in order for John to be born, Kyle has to go back in time. But for Kyle to go back in time, the war has to fucking happen. But if the war doesn't happen, then Kyle doesn't go back in time. John isn't born. But if John isn't born, then they don't send the Terminator back in time. Yep. So they had to, this is where we get into some time loopy,
this is where
shit.
I was like, wait a minute, what? Like everything else was believable, and then I just got to that part, and my brain went, wait a minute.
Yeah. But to the movie's credit, it doesn't focus on the time travel.
No,
aspects.
it really doesn't. So that was really just me being a little concerned and confused, but it's really it's irrelevant. It's just me being a nerd.
Which unfortunately is a mistake that later installments will make of focusing too much on the fucking time travel, which we'll get there. We're coming for you, Genesis, you son of a bitch.
Genesis. Gen ISIS.
Oh my God, ISIS was behind Terminator Genesis the whole time. Jesus Christ.
Just blame them. What happened to ISIS? They made that film. That's where they've been this whole time.
But anyway, so then this little Mexican boy takes a picture of her, which turns out to be the picture that Kyle had.
The picture.
Which was funny because earlier in the movie.
Look at this photograph.
Every time it makes me sad. How did Kyle get so dead? I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny. It's ironic because when Kyle he mentions the picture to Sarah earlier in the film, he's like, "You always look sad," and he says, "I always wondered what you were thinking about in that moment." And we know she was thinking about him.
Yeah, he is what she was thinking of.
What a mind fuck!
Full circle.
Yeah, total fucking mind fuck.
So sad.
But anyway,
R.I.P.
So anyway, she gasses up at this gas station. And she heads on, and before she gets in, like the gas station head is like, "There's a storm coming," and she's like, "I know." And then she rides off, not into the sunset, but into the storm, because the storm's coming. Because they beat the Terminator, but that doesn't change the fact that the nuclear war is coming.
The nuclear war is coming, and she has a few years that she needs to fucking prepare.
And that's one of the things I want to bring up, because I usually don't bring this up because I'm not really a music guy. But the soundtrack for this movie,
I really like it.
Yes,
it's very ominous.
Yes,
at times,
somber.
The lyrics are telling you what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the main theme song of this Terminator, like da-na-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. It's like it's got the it's got the metal sound. Like it's like action, but at the same time acknowledging like this is action and the dystopia. It's got that
sci-fi.
good balance. Yeah. There's a little synth
it's
music
a good
in there.
Though. I really we get some like night wavy 80s wave music in it. I enjoy it.
Yeah. So The Terminator, which is the only Terminator movie in the franchise that starts with the. After this one, they dropped the, just like how the recent Eternals movie is dropping the.
When I was doing research, when I just Googled the word Terminator, the first movie is not what pops up. It's the second one because this is the Terminator, and then there's Terminator 2, whatever. So when you Google Terminator, you almost have to Google it with the word "the" in it to get the first movie to pop up.
And I know you're the trivia person, so tell me, do you have, because we're going to bring this up now, do you have the trivia on Harlan Ellison?
No, I don't.
So at the end of the credits, there is a shout out to Harlan Ellison, and I don't know the full story. Harlan Ellison was a sci-fi writer, and he worked on was it the Twilight Zone? Yeah. It was Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, but I'm pretty sure it was Twilight Zone. Okay. And he sued James Cameron because he said that Cameron stole the story for the Terminator from a episode of the Twilight Zone that he wrote. Okay. And eventually they settled in court, and that's why Harlan Ellison gets a mention at the end in credits.
Nice.
And I don't know much about the Twilight episode. I've never seen it. All I know about it is that part of the plot is a soldier from the future comes back to our time.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think there's a robot involved or war against machines.
But it was just similar enough that he was like, "Excuse me, what? Yeah. I wrote this, sir."
Yeah. But anyway, so a little bit of trivia there for you. Another bit of trivia is that when Arnold Schwarzenegger auditioned for this movie, he didn't audition for the Terminator. He auditioned for Kyle Reese. He wanted to be the good guy. I did know
that. Yeah.
And he wanted to be the good guy.
Yeah, he wanted. No.
But James.
Not only that, you're also not really allowed to speak. Yeah. I did find out that Arnold did work with guns every single day for a month to get ready for this role. He hadn't really had any real experience with guns before, so he like worked on it every single day.
Unless the gun was strapped to a weight.
Right.
He didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, no. Unless you can lift. If there's a gun lifting contest, he was on it.
Here, Arnold, lift this tank cannon. I can do it.
I can do it.
I'm Mr. Universe.
It's not a tumor. Sorry,
yeah. So, but it was for the best that it became, because James Cameron convinced him, like, dude, you're going to be the bad guy, but trust me, people are going to love you. Yeah.
And like I said, it doesn't matter that he's the bad guy. He's the face of the franchise.
Yeah. Because even
like, who the fuck's Kyle?
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah.
I mean, you're important. Like,
yeah.
I got it, but it's Arnold.
Yeah. Even in the movie,
he is the Terminator.
Even in future movies where it probably would have been a fine idea to not have Arnold in it, they still bring Arnold back.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into that once again, because we got a lot of woohoo. We got a lot to get through. We got a lot to get through. Thankfully, but anyway, so overall, Jess, as someone who's new to the franchise, how do you feel about this movie?
I really liked this movie. Like I said, it's definitely a franchise that even if you've never seen it, you know the basics. You're familiar with Skynet. Like, you've heard that name. It wasn't. And nothing really surprised me because it was things that I already knew. It's just such an iconic film. Yeah. It definitely lived up to that, like, the fan base and everything. It lives up to the title. I really like it. It's a really good sci-fi movie. I definitely agree that at times it's slasher-esque, especially the scene where he kills Ginger and Matt is very much like a slasher film. It's a good movie. I like it. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've been watching these movies ever since I was a kid. Terminator was like my hero, though. Honestly, I watched Terminator 2 more, and we'll get into more of that on the next episode. But yeah, I mean, this movie holds up. The only thing that really, once again, that doesn't hold up too well are some of the special effects. They're dated. But you can forgive.
They're dated.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is 1984, and honestly, for 84, they're really good.
Yeah.
Like, this is early 80s.
Because everything else holds up pretty well. The acting, the story, the plot, the action sequences, the cinematography. There's like some cool little shots in here. Like I said, the shot where the garbage truck at first, like, what's this giant mechanical monster?
There's some
it's a garbage
nice
truck.
Shots.
Yeah. Right after that, Arnold looks over the city. And yeah, no, I mean, it's still one of the most memorable films of the 80s.
Yeah, and it lives up to that. It really does.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen The Terminator, do yourself a favor and check it out.
Definitely. I have no idea why I didn't see it before.
Because you didn't know me before.
Well, okay. So this isn't even, I can't say in my defense. There's no fucking defense for this. My favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is Junior because it's so absurd and it's just so fucking funny. Like, I'm just going to come right out and say that. I love the movie Junior.
So you like it for the horrible mess that it is?
Oh, my God. Yeah, It's fucking hilarious. I like Twins. I really enjoy Arnold Schwarzenegger in funny movies. That's what I watched as a kid. I don't know if my parents were really into action movies, so it's just not. But we really liked comedies.
Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just watched that a few months ago.
Yeah, that's great. So I just, like, for some reason, never watched this movie. I don't know why I didn't. It's great. If you haven't, check it out. It's a really good film. You can. I don't think it's streaming anywhere right now, but you can. I rented it on YouTube for like $3. Yeah. Thanks, YouTube. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. Or you. Well, I mean, I own the first one. I don't. I don't own the second one. I will one day. I really why I don't own the second one, despite the fact it's my favorite one. It's like, and honestly, it's the best one in the whole franchise. Is because I went through that whole thing of. We live in America where we had a recession a while ago, so I'm now starting to build my DVD.
I know. When I moved, I sold a lot of DVDs.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So on next episode, we will get into my favorite, the best one of the franchise. There's no fucking debate. Don't anyone come at me and tell me it ain't.
Edward Furlong's in this, right?
Yes, Edward Furlong.
Is this pre-lobster freak out?
Yes, this is very pre-lobster.
Okay. Oh wait, that's right. He's a child. Okay, never mind.
Very pre-lobster.
This is like way okay. Never
Some
mind.
of you guys are like what lobster is there?
Edward Furlong.
It's a Terminator lobster.
Edward Furlong was arrested for freeing lobsters at a seafood restaurant. That's what I'm referencing. Just there you go.
One of them was named Sarah Connor.
Yeah, he was trying to free his mom.
No, but anyway, yeah. So next time we will be taking a look at Terminator 2. Judgment Day.
All right.
A major super fucking classic in the sci-fi action genre. I'm so excited, especially that she hasn't watched it. We have to watch this one together.
Okay, we will watch this one together.
Yeah, we watched this with the first one separately because we had a crazy week. But we gotta watch one together. I'm really excited for it, and I hope you guys will join us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please follow or subscribe wherever you're
listening to us on
Lisbon, Spotify, Stitcher.
We're on iTunes. We're on a bunch of platforms. Watch us
YouTube,
on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. And if you feel so inclined to help us keep producing this and putting it out, hit us up on Patreon. It's patreon.com/POVincent. It's okay if you can't give anything. We are more than happy that you just watch and listen. So thanks for everything, you guys.
Exactly. Yeah. Right now, at this stage with the show, if the fact that if you're following or subscribing or whatever, trust me, that helps out a fuck ton right now.
Absolutely.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Thank you to the River's Edge Online Radio Network for giving us a studio to use. Thank you for viewing things through our point of view. Take it easy.
Bye, guys.